In Harmony Estate, everyone knew Kunle not because he owned a flashy car or ran a big company, but because he had something far more powerful and shocking, a wife named Tola, who had turned him from a once fearless man into something like a rechargeable fan with a dead battery. Any time Tola pressed the button, Kunle moved, and when she didn't, he stood still like traffic during Lagos Go-Slow. Before marriage, Kunle was the area's undefeated champion of stubbornness. He once argued with a police officer over a £5 bribe until the officer got tired and let him go. But since marrying Tola, the fire in him had turned to candlelight, and that candle had melted to a puddle. Tola wasn't one of those soft-spoken ladies you see in romantic comedies who gently wipe their husband's sweat. Nah, she was the kind who would burst into Kunle's office, Zoom call, and bark, "Kunle, come and scrub my sneakers now, or you'll sleep in the corridor tonight." And Kunle would obey immediately, not because he enjoyed humiliation, but because he truly believed real love meant obeying every word from your wife like it was divine instruction. Kunle practiced this belief like 3 square meals, morning, afternoon, and night. Even to wear boxers, he would ask, "My butter, should I wear the black one or the white one?" And if Tola said black, black it was. But if she raised an eyebrow and asked, "Are you all right?" Kunle would apologize instantly and walk around boxer-less one afternoon. His neighbor, Mr. Idris, the mechanic, asked, "Kunle, aren't you coming for the estate's Saturday football?" Kunle smiled awkwardly and replied, "Let me confirm, with Madam first." But before he could take a step, Tola's voice thundered from their apartment like a church speaker during vigil. "Kunle, if you follow Idris to go kick nonsense ball, don't bother coming back. Go and sleep at the mechanic's workshop." Kunle turned to Mr. Idris and said, "Maybe next time," then jogged back home to wash Tola's wigs before 7 p.m, because if he delayed even a minute, she would shout, "So, I have to set alarm for your duties now." They lived in a massive compound of 4-story buildings in Harmony Estate Block D, and everyone there knew Kunle's legend. The children called him Uncle Yesma, because all they ever heard from him was Yesma, 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 like it was tattooed on his tongue. People said, "You can't shame the shameless," but Kunle himself felt no shame. He saw himself as the model husband, often sitting outside the building to lecture anyone willing to listen. A real man obeys his wife. Submission is not weakness, it's the purest love. If someone teased him by calling him rapper husband, Kunle would grin and say, "If loving Tola makes me a rapper, then I'm a full 6 yards of Ankara, perfectly ironed." Yet everyone saw the cracks, because Kunle had once been the man who wouldn't swallow a mosquito insult. Now, if Tola called him a donkey at Mile 12 Market, Kunle would just laugh and respond, "A donkey that loves you till death," and carry her basket of tomatoes with joy. Sometimes Tola punished Kunle by making him wear her wrapper for small mistakes, like forgetting to call her sweetheart during a call with her friends, or forgetting to rinse her socks. One day, as Kunle returned home with 2 cartons of sachet water balanced on his head, someone from the top floor yelled, "Ah, Rapper King." Kunle just smiled up and shouted, "My wrapper fresher than your curtains." One Friday evening, the men of Harmony Estate gathered under the old guava tree behind their compound, their unofficial husband's anonymous center. Mr. Idris had called the meeting, pacing like a lion with his oily overalls still on, muttering, "Guys, we need to help Kunle. If not, our wives go soon. They send us to Bipad at midnight." Baba Latif, the pepper seller, nodded gravely. "Since Tola entered this compound, women dande carry shoulder. Yesterday, my wife asked me to clean her eyelashes and said, 'If Kunle can do it, you too can.'" The men groaned in unison. They waited anxiously for Kunle. Finally, they heard the shuffle of rubber slippers. Kunle arrived, looking like a man who had just escaped house arrest. He greeted them softly, "Good evening, brothers," and sat down. Mr. Idris wasted no time. "Kunle, we love you, but we want you to remember you're a man, not Tola's handbag." Kunle looked lost, like someone asked to calculate advanced algebra on a moving danfo, he said, "But I'm okay. Tola even gave me permission to attend this meeting for 10 minutes only." Then sighed deeply. Mr. Idris pulled out a dog-eared booklet titled "How to Grow Your Spine Without Fighting." He handed it to Kunle, who received it like a ticking bomb. "Start by saying no sometimes. Don't ask permission to drink water. Stop kneeling to apologize for not stirring her tea properly," they advised. Kunle scratched his head and asked, "But isn't love about sacrifice?" They chorused, "Sacrifice, yes, but slavery, no." Kunle nodded, and for a moment, hope flickered in their eyes. Then Kunle's phone rang. He froze, face pale, picked it up, and stammered, "Yes, baby, I'm on my way." He stood up in panic, returned the book like it was radioactive, and ran off, his slippers slapping the ground as the men watched in helpless silence. "USUF, the estate DJ, sighed, "If we don't cure this rapper disease, we go soon. They apply to our wives for salary." Weeks later, a neighbor, Mr. Okone, the spare parts dealer, decided to celebrate his 45th birthday with a small party in the estate. He invited all the men for pepper soup, grilled fish, and some bottles of cold drinks under the compound's guava tree. Everyone showed up in their best native attire, laughing and dancing to a Sakes Lonely at the top. Then Idris nudged them urgently. "Guys, look, he actually came." They turned to see Kunle walking in carefully, wearing his prized white kaftan that Tola normally only allowed him to wear on church harvest days. His hair was freshly trimmed, and he had applied a subtle dash of roll-on. The men gasped like they'd seen a ghost. Baba Latif nearly spilled his origin as he exclaimed, "Kunle, you came out." Kunle grinned. She fell asleep watching her favorite telenovela. "I told her I was going to buy groundnut oil. I have exactly 45 minutes before she wakes up." The men hugged him like a long-lost brother, pulled him a chair, poured him a cold drink, and offered him a steaming plate of pepper soup. Kunle smiled so wide you could almost see freedom shining in his eyes. He chewed the fish, wiped his mouth, and for the first time in months, laughed from his belly. But then it happened. A little boy ran breathlessly into the compound, shouting, like someone bringing bad news from the battlefield, "Uncle Kunle, Auntie Tola is coming, and she's holding slippers." A cold wind of fear swept through the men. The DJ stopped the music like Nipper took light. The men turned to the estate gate, and there she was, Tola, wearing a headscarf, tied like a warrior's bandana, storming in with her slippers in one hand like a weapon. Her eyes were fixed on Kunle like a hawk sighting a rat. Silence spread. Like wildfire, Kunle sat frozen. Tola marched straight to him, eyes blazing, and barked, "So this is the groundnut oil you went to buy?" Kunle opened his mouth, but no words came out. The men tried to melt into the background like camouflaged soldiers. She turned to the others. "And you people think it's funny to encourage my husband to behave like a stray goat?" Then bam, she slapped Kunle on the back with her slippers. The men winced collectively like they too felt the sting. Kunle squealed, "It's just small pepper soup now." Tola snapped, "Pepper soup that will land you in bachelorhood." She grabbed Kunle's collar like she was yanking a child from a candy store and dragged him home, his feet stumbling across the compound as his kaftan fluttered behind him like a white flag. The men watched silently, their hopes crushed. DJ Yusuf finally muttered what everyone was thinking. "We just lost our only hope." That night, the story spread like wildfire through the estate WhatsApp group. Someone had taken a video of Tola dragging Kunle by his kaftan and uploaded it with the caption, Kunle, the rapper, caught red-handed with pepper soup. By morning, the clip had made it to Instagram, TikTok, and even a viral meme page on Facebook. Comments poured in. Is this love or modern-day slavery? He needs deliverance. But Kunle's mother, Mama Kunle, who lived in Ibadan, wasn't laughing when she saw the viral video on her neighbor's phone. She nearly dropped her bowl of amala, stood up straight, and declared, "Tony, my own son Kunle, that I carried for 9 months, being flogged like Christmas goat." She packed her big handbag, wore her fiercest lace blouse, and took the next bus to Lagos, holding a bottle of olive oil like a police warrant. By evening, she arrived at Harmony Estate, eyes blazing like a soldier on a rescue mission. The estate security guard was about to greet her when she asked, "Where is Block D? Where is that girl controlling my son like Bluetooth speaker?" The compound went quiet. Mama Kunle stormed to Kunle's door, knocked like she wanted to break it, and when Tola opened it with a forced smile, she shoved past her and shouted, "So you are the one using my son as mopstick?" Kunle, who was ironing Tola's gown in the living room, looked up, eyes wide with fear and relief at the same time. "Mama, it's not what you think." But Mama Kunle cut him off. "Shut up, Kunle. So you now wash bra and kneel down to greet ordinary human being like you?" Mama Kunle faced Tola. "What are you adding in his food, Omo or hypo?" She brought out her olive oil, sprinkled it on the TV, chairs, even on Kunle's feet, and declared, "This oppression ends today." That night, the apartment became a spiritual battlefield. Tola and Mama Kunle exchanged words. The neighbors eavesdropped from their windows like they were watching Big Brother Niger, and Kunle sat on the sofa, hands on his head, looking like a man caught between 2 tornadoes. From that night, peace packed its bags and left Kunle's apartment. The house became a war zone, split into 2 camps. Team Tola, the wife who ruled like a military general, and Team Mama Kunle, the mother determined to rescue her only son from what she called spiritual bondage. Meanwhile, Kunle was like a football being passed between 2 angry teams. If Tola said, "Kunle, go and warm the soup," Mama Kunle would shout from the sitting room, "If you stand up from that chair, thunder will fire you." If Mama Kunle told him, "Kunle, boil water for my tea," Tola would hiss, "He's not your houseboy." Even choosing where to sleep became a chess game. If Kunle stayed in the bedroom, his mother would call him a betrayer. If he stayed in the parlor, Tola would threaten to change the locks. Neighbors didn't need Netflix anymore. Every evening, they gathered quietly on their balconies, eyes glued to Kunle's windows, like it was a live reality show. Even the compound gateman said, "I dan cancel my DSTV subscription. This one sweet pass." Kunle's stress began to show. His eyes had dark circles. His clothes became loose from skipping meals, and his voice turned soft like someone who had lost the will to shout. The once confident Kunle, who bragged about his independence, now looked like a man attending 3 universities at once, without graduating from any DOT one fateful Sunday afternoon. Tola went to the salon while Mama Kunle went to a nearby church crusade. For the first time in weeks, Kunle was alone. He sat on the veranda, staring into the distance like a retired soldier. Then he did what most Nigerian men do when life becomes too confusing. He opened his phone, found his old friend, Jide on WhatsApp, and sent him a voice note, pouring out his heart. "Bro, I'm tired, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Drained. This marriage is war. Since I married Tola, I've been a houseboy in fine clothes. Mama came, and now the house is like a courtroom. I don't know if I should run or faint. God, please save me." But just as Kunle hit send, his eyes widened. He realized he had sent the message, not to Jide, but to the entire Harmony Estate WhatsApp group, which included everyone from the landlord to sister piece. The estate's professional gossip. Within minutes, the estate buzzed like a hornet's nest. Messages poured in. So Kunle is suffering. Chai, rapper Dan tear finally. God Abig, I don't want this type of marriage. Kids began singing in the compound. Kunle wants peace. Kunle wants peace. The song spread like wildfire. Tola returned from the salon to see people pointing and giggling. She checked her phone, listened to Kunle's voice note, and her face darkened like a thunderstorm. Meanwhile, Mama Kunle, back from church, saw the commotion, snatched someone's phone to hear the viral voice note, and glared at Kunle. That night, the apartment was quieter than a cemetery. Tola refused to talk. Mama Kunle sat in the parlor, muttering, I warned you about Lagos girls. Kunle sat outside barefoot, staring at the moon, whispering to himself, is this marriage or national service? For 2 days, Tola didn't shout or assign him chores. She moved like a ticking bomb, eyes cold and calculating. Mama Kunle packed her bag and returned to Ibadan, telling Kunle, you better fight for your life. This one passed my power. On. The third morning, Tola struck. She entered the bedroom where Kunle was folding his clothes, smiling sweetly. Kunle, dress up. We are going to see Pastor Bright for marriage counseling. Kunle looked up suspiciously. Counseling? She nodded, yes. After that, we'll visit the registry to upgrade our marriage to white wedding. I want a proper ceremony with suit, gown, and video coverage. Kunle swallowed hard. Upgrade. Are we not already married? She raised one brow. This is part 1. I want part 2, and maybe part 3. She threw a shiny lace material at him. We will wear matching outfits for the pre-wedding photoshoot. Kunle stood frozen, eyes darting from the wrapper to his reflection in the mirror. Something snapped inside him. He calmly folded the lace, set it on the bed, walked to the bathroom, and locked the door. He sat fully clothed on the toilet, staring at himself. Kunle, is this how you will die? You used to be a man. He texted Jite. She wants a white wedding. I haven't recovered from the traditional one. Jide replied instantly, bro, take back your life before we buy you a new wrapper with belt. That afternoon, Kunle didn't follow Tola to the tailor. Instead, he switched off his phone, walked to a barbershop, cut his hair completely low, then entered Mama Beseret's buka, ordered a mala with 5 pieces of goat meat, and chewed it slowly, like someone reclaiming destiny. When he returned home, Tola was waiting in the sitting room with crossed arms, her eyes like to burning coals. Normally Kunle would have fallen to his knees and started apologizing. But today, he walked past her, entered the kitchen, cooked his own indomie, and ate it while watching football. Tola's jaw nearly fell off. That night, Kunle slept on the bed. Tola stayed awake, tossing and turning, waiting for him to whisper, "Sweetheart, should I off the light?" But Kunle didn't say a word. He snored loudly, like someone sleeping off years of oppression. The next morning, Kunle woke up early, dressed in his native shirt and jeans, and stepped out confidently. Tola demanded, "Where are you going?" Kunle looked her straight in the eye and said softly but firmly, "To start living." He closed the door gently behind him, leaving Tola standing there stunned. From that day, the estate men saluted Kunle whenever they saw him. They nicknamed him Kunle the Reborn. That evening, Kunle cooked his own food again, watched football, and changed the TV channel without asking permission. Tola, defeated, quietly folded the Ankara wrapper she once used as his leash, and from that night, Harmony Estate gained a new legend, Kunle, the man who took back his freedom.